incomplete pass as they still struggle for it. McDonald.
Well, the officials ought to blow those whistles, and everyone blow them and make them stop, because it was incomplete, but everyone has to start blowing whistles and getting these guys to stop. McDonald's so excited, he just wants to keep on playing, maybe even after he does hear that first whistle.
He was in a swing around struggle with, I believe, Callaway. Callaway says, hey, it's me you want.
Yeah, but then you see the guy.
Yeah.
You know, Dan Reeves was telling us that Riesenberg is the hardest working offensive lineman he's ever seen. He said every pass, even in practice, he's downfield. He was downfield on that play.
3rd and 10. Sims steps up. He might have been over the line of scrimmage again. Flag on the play as he lofted it to Callaway. But I think he was over the line again. Yeah,
he was over the line. And this 49er defense, and again, the 49er offense, by getting so far ahead, has completely frustrated the Giants here today.
10:56 left to play in the 3rd quarter. It's still 23-3.
Illegal forward pass.
Illegal forward
Quarterback
pass.
was across the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Also loss of down.
Loss of down, which means it's 4th, and they'll have to punt it.
I think the Giants, had that tough game with the Dallas Cowboys, the last regular season game, and had that tough game last week in Minnesota in the cold weather against Minnesota in New York, and I think it's just all showing up right now.
Bad punt by Haran, bounces at midfield, and the 49ers will take over right at midfield, 1st and 10. Steve Young for more. Batted down. Looking in the direction of Brent Jones.
We were talking how, you get in playoffs and the finality of it, the intensity is stronger each week, but it doesn't seem to be true. I mean, it doesn't seem to be true that the Giants don't have that intensity today. They don't have the intensity they had last week. And the 49ers now don't have the intensity in the second half that they had in the first half.
They had it in the beginning, but now it looks like they've decided, well, let's just sit on it. Outside of Waters. Waters out of bounds. He picked up 4 yards. Knocked out by Mark Collins. Yeah, the 49ers definitely are not going at the pace they were early. Early, they looked like they did earlier in the year when we saw them in the second half at Detroit.
Well, you got to get that ball out there to Jerry Rice and then to John Taylor, and the big plays, break Waters through, kind of get the excitement back in this offense.
Young to throw it. Gets it to Waters. Waters has the 49er first down. Inside the Giant 35, about the 33.
And he's the guy that can do it, too. I mean, Ricky Waters is the guy that has electricity in him. You see, he's here in the backfield, so he's the only guy in the backfield now. He has to find a hole there. See, he finds a hole between the guard and the tackle, then he just works out to the left side, finds that hole, and then gets the first down. But the first thing he has to do is find a hole to get through in that offensive and defensive line. And he found it right there between McIntyre and Steve Wallace.
1st and 10, 49ers. Carter in motion. The handoff is to Logan. Logan. Another San Francisco first down. The ball out of bounds. It'll still belong to the 49ers. Mark Collins couldn't quite keep it in and recover it. Bailey made the stop. Excuse me.
I was just going to say, these guards are really blocking well today. We saw McIntyre do it. That time it was Tam. Watch him. Here's Lawrence Taylor. Tam is going to get the block right here on Lawrence Taylor. Watch Ralph Tam. Boom. He just takes that outside leg, knocks him down. Harris Barton comes around, gets Bailey. And I'll tell you, these guys blocking in the open field have been picture perfect today. We've had some great looking sweeps.
And you don't see much of those anymore.
No. And then, I mean, we've seen guards pull, tackles pull, and then make good blocks in the open field.
The handoff is to Waters. Trips away from one man, hammers down to about the 15. Corey Raymond knocked him out of bounds.
Yeah, if we just look at the play here, we see Steve Wallace is looking to get the outside. In other words, he's going to take two guys. Watch 74 there. He takes Fox to the inside and then grabs Taylor's outside. That's the way you block two. He's trying to get that outside free for Waters. Waters gives that straight arm there. See how the straight arm works? That's the play that frees him, and then he tries to finish it off with his shoulder.
Second down and 6. Steve Young changing the play. Swings it to Rathman. Rathman to the 6. And another 49er first down, stopped by Mark Collins.
And Reeves was saying during the week, he looked at the films of the 49ers. He thought he could find some weaknesses, and he said he couldn't find any weaknesses on film, and he's not seeing any weaknesses here on the field either.
They're using all their weapons, and they have many.
George Siebert said in that week that they had off, they went back to fundamentals of blocking and tackling, and it has been very obvious today.
First and goal at the 6. The San Francisco 49ers trying to add to their lead. That's Ricky Waters. 4 touchdowns for Waters on a cutback.
I have never seen it so easy to run on the New York Giants inside the 5-yard line as it has been today. Or maybe the 49ers have made it easy.
The blocking of that offensive line and the running of Waters.
Ricky Waters starts to stretch it out, and then boom, right there makes the cutback. And about 2 Giant missed tackles. But you know, the Giants aren't in position to hit. They're in position to reach. And they've been reaching this whole game. The 49ers have just beaten them to the punch this whole game.
Kofer for the extra point is good. 30-3. 4 touchdowns by Waters, a playoff record. Just been set by number 32.
So Mike Kofer adds the extra point to make it 30 points to 3 in favor of the San Francisco 49ers. I think it's safe to say now that his missed extra point in the first quarter was probably academic. This one is starting to get ugly.
You know, after that, that was his 4th touchdown, Pat. You said it's a playoff record. Listen to who he's going to give the game balls to.
He's calling.
For my mom, my dad, my sister, and my nephew. Everybody.
Yeah, for everybody.
His mom, his dad, his sister, and his nephew.
Now he's calling to see who else is at home. Anybody else want a touchdown?
I think the mom was first. You notice that?
Yeah,
then the
always
dad,
is.
then the sister. I think the nephew was more of an afterthought. He may get beaten out on that 4th game ball.
The handoff from Sims to Hampton straight ahead and maybe a yard.
I think Steve Young's trying to talk him out of one of those game balls.
Yeah.
Maybe that one that was going to the nephew. Steve would say, how about me? Just give one to your mom, your dad, and your sister, and me, give me the 4th one.
He looks like he's serious about whatever it is.
You know, Ricky Waters talks all the time. And a lot of times, you know, they don't listen to him. And players walk away, coaches walk away. They got to calm him down. When you score 4 touchdowns, I think they're all going to listen to him today.
Nephew or not. Here's Sims. And McCaffrey lunging out to the 29, short of the first down. Stopped by Eric Davis and John Johnson.
You know, I think over the last 3 or 4 weeks, Phil Sims really doesn't have a lot of confidence in Mark Jackson. Jackson is a kind of a hot and cold receiver, and he's kind of gone cold lately. And I think that Ed McCaffrey is the guy that has become more of Sims's go-to guy.
They need a yard, and this is Rodney Hampton. He got the yard. Tackled by Tim McDonald. Might have given you the wrong impression about the record set by Waters. 4 touchdowns by number 32 today is a new postseason record, any postseason game. 4 touchdowns.
And that means that he's going to have 4 footballs for those touchdowns, and he's going to have to get out here like Santa Claus with a sack over his back, a sack of football.
First and 10 Giants at their own 34. Here's Sims to throw it. Well, to try to throw it. Stubblefield again gets the sack.
Now, there is a guy who has really come along for the 49ers, Dana Stubblefield. They need a defensive lineman. He was a #1 draft choice. He kind of had a slow start, but he really came along towards the end of the season. And right now, he is probably the most consistent of the defensive linemen. You see that he's been putting more pressure than anyone on Phil Simms today. In fact, you see Simms looked at him and said, oh, no, not number 94 again.
3 sacks today by that 49er defense on Simms. On second down, he's back again. This time, good time. McCaffrey, the intended receiver, the ball's out of bounds. Don Griffin, the defender.
Yeah, that time what they did is William Roberts and Eric Moore. Watch Stubblefield, he's right here. He's going to go in here, and Roberts here and Moore here, double team him. And once he started getting the pressure, they say, let's keep that guy off him. So they got 2 blockers on him, and he's still getting his hand up in front of Phil Simms' face.
And it's 3rd and 15. 5:10 left in the 3rd quarter. 30-3 San Francisco. To Jackson. Will not get enough for a first down. Stopped by McDonald and Magruder. And we'll see Michael Horan, I believe, again, although I don't see him yet.
I think Dan Reeves knows that, you know, there's no tomorrow here, that if you're going to go, if you're going to have any chance at all, and you're down 30-3, you can't be punting now.
4th and 3. Jackson, the man in motion. Simms chase out of the pocket, and down he goes. Tripped up by Troy Wilson, but again a strong rush from Stubblefield.
Troy Wilson gets the sack because he was the guy that was out there for the flush.
The 49ers take over.
Well, Dana Stubblefield on that drive, showing why he was voted Defensive Rookie of the Year this season. And the 49ers defense, which has been much maligned this year, sending a message not only to the Giants, but perhaps everyone else who remains in the playoffs, that they're a force to be reckoned with. Back to the action now.
And a long day for those pass protectors and for Phil Simms. One, he hasn't gotten too many guys open downfield and hasn't had any time.
This is Rathman. Flag on the play. Rathman down for another first down out of bounds at the 20, but the penalty marker thrown early, and it's probably going to be holding against the 49ers.
Okay, but those linemen, again, in the open field, really block well to spring runners. That time it was Harris Barton.
Holding, number 62 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
The holding called against Guy McIntyre.
Guy McIntyre, we've seen him make some good lead blocks today. We've seen Ralph Tam do it. On that play, it was Harris Barton. Harris Barton, he came all the way from the right side to make it. But I'll tell you, these 3 guys have really played well today because Ricky Waters has 4 touchdowns running, and they've all been inside.
That was Logan on the move, and the pass is to Logan. Mark Logan down to about the 37. Corey Raymond and Corey Miller knocked him out of bounds.
Yeah, Pat, if you look at where they've run the ball today, they've run left 8 times for 53 yards, but look at this, in the middle, 11 times for 20 yards and 4 touchdowns. They've run to the right 7 times for 36 yards. So they've moved it right, left, and middle, again, with all 4 of Ricky Waters' touchdowns being in the middle.
2nd and 12 for the 49ers at the Giant 37. Waters swings in motion to the right. Young to Brent Jones. That looks like about a yard shy of the first down. Michael Brooks on the stop. Young had the ball on the way before Brent Jones ever turned around.
And he didn't have to because his pass protection is just excellent. I mean, he's standing back there now, and there's no one even getting within 5 yards of Steve Young. Just watch this line here. I mean, boom, boom, boom. You just keep everyone right there. and he just comes back 5-step trap, just turns it out there to Brent Jones.
3rd and 1. Waters and Rathman behind Steve Young. That's Waters. Tripped up just as he crossed the 10. That'll make it 1st and goal at about the 7. He almost had his 5th.
Again, Ralph Tam, watch him. He's a right guard. He's going to pull here. He's the guy that makes the block this time. Number 64. Watch 64 right there. You come, you get in the lead, you turn upfield, you get square. What, you make that block, and it just takes a little to spring Ricky Waters. But I think that this 49er offensive line has blocked better today for more meaningful runs in the open field than I have ever seen.
They really have. Waters, outstanding running. The line's done a great job. Here's Ricky Waters. Down to about the 3. Stopped by Myron Guyton.
Well, he already has one from his mom, his dad, his sister, and his nephew. I wonder what he'd do with that 5th one.
Maybe a niece or cousin?
I don't know. You know, the talk was about the running backs and what they're going to do. And remember, we were talking to Ricky Waters the other day, and he said, I want to show him there's another back in this game besides Rodney Hampton. You look at the stats today, I think everyone's going to know there was another back in this game.
And a very good one. Waters and Rathman behind Young on 2nd down. Waters, 5 for the day. 5 touchdowns by Ricky Waters. "21 carries, 104 yards, 5 touchdowns. Ricky Waters." There is indeed another back on the field.
Well, we knew that when everyone's trying to get that 5th ball now. Ricky Waters has run out of family. Look for some pets.
He may have to adopt somebody. Hofer's extra point is good. It's 37-3.
You know, if there's ever been one of those things where you could say, I knew it was going to happen, it was kind of with Ricky Waters. I mean, he was so up and so hyper on Thursday. And then today he was out here and he took a lap around and went and talked to all the fans and said, we need you today. And I mean, he was ready. You talk about guys being ready to play football. For this day, Ricky Waters was ready.
A lot of people play this game a long time and don't score 5 touchdowns.
I think the 4 touchdowns was the record in playoffs. And as they say, you know, that the great players step up in big games.
As a matter of fact, one of those people who played this game a long time, 10 years, is standing next to you and scored 1 touchdown. He has 5 in 1 day. One afternoon, 1 game.
Yeah, isn't it funny how the more touchdowns you get, the more friends you get?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Jesse Sapullo's always a friend. I mean, your center, your offensive lineman, they always are. But just watch the guys that are walking up to Ricky Waters. There's guys in suits walking up.
Oh, he's going to have an entourage.
Yeah, and the entourage is growing.
Dave Maggott out of the end zone for the Giants to the 23. He's still excited.
So he's never seen holes like that. Those holes are awesome. He's shaking everyone's hand. But he has to go to that offensive line. He was with the right guy, with Jesse Sapullo. We talked about the job that Jesse's done inside. Guy McIntyre, the left guard. Ralph Tam has really come up big in this game.
2 tackles have done well.
Those 2 tackles always play well.
They do. That's Hampton. No gain. They have shut Rodney Hampton down today. Stubblefield again involved in the tackle. Romanowski with him.
If you look, you know, we talked about the touchdowns in playoff games.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is most touchdowns in any game And look at those names. Ernie Nevers, Dub Jones, Gale Sayers.
Dub Jones, Bert Jones' father.
That was Bert Jones' dad, yeah.
Gale Sayers, I saw him do that.
Ernie Nevers, he was from right down here at Stanford.
Right. Pass was dropped. Incomplete. Callaway.
You know, this whole defense has stepped up too. You know, everyone was saying, and the defensive line has taken a lot of criticism for not playing well. The linebackers and, you know, and then the secondary for not tackling those last couple games. And I don't know what they did in that extra week, but they're a totally different team than that team that finished the season on a Monday night.
Well, Ted Washington wouldn't talk to anyone until last week. They were maligned, they were criticized, and he finally said, hey, leave us alone. We'll take care of our situation. Sims' arm was hit, and the pass is picked off by Eric Davis. The ball fluttered out of there. Sims was hit just as he let it go.
You want to be peaking in the playoffs, and I'll tell you, we're watching a peaking team in this 49er group.
That's P-E-A-K.
Right.
Davis was with the interception.
Sims is going to come out and throw this ball to the right, and he's been getting pressure all day. They don't worry about the run or anything. You just see that one just took off on him, got up in the air. Davis just stepped right in front of McCaffrey.
So the 49ers take over at the Giant 35. Ricky Waters is the lone setback. Waters straight ahead. Inside the 30 to about the 28. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. San Francisco 37, the Giants 3.
Well, Eric Davis' interception of Phil Sims just about summing things up for this game so far. And Bob, it's looking more and more to me not like the last time the Giants and the 49ers met in the postseason, but the last time George Seifert and Dan Reeves met in the postseason, which was the 55-10 blowout in Super Bowl 24.
Right, obviously there's some similarities in the coaching situation, but you know what it really comes down to is we've got to look at the players. We talked about prior to the game about a quarterback being one of the person to control this game. But the problem was we were talking about the wrong quarterback. We were talking about Steve Young thinking he was the one that was going to dominate. The problem is the quarterback this time is Phil Sims. I don't think I've ever seen him this erratic, this cold. The last interception, the receiver was there, was making the break. He just floated the ball to him, gave the cornerback all the time in the world to step in front of him. So, you know, you don't want to put it on one person. You got to put it on the team. But immediately what comes to view is that Phil Sims is cold, and they're keying Rodney Hampton now to allowing them to get any kind of a running game going. So, and like I said, of course, on the other side of the ball, 5 touchdowns in a game, record-setting with Ricky Waters. It's been a blowout the entire way.
Okay, 37-3, one more quarter of misery for you Giants fans to endure. It's coming up after the break.
Well said.
It's the last quarter of the game, probably the final 15 minutes of Lawrence Taylor's famous career. His team are going down. Let's see if he can go out with one last flourish. The Giants are on defense. Back to the game.
Ricky Waters out of bounds by Myron Guyton at about the Giant 13. 14 make it.
That's, you know, thanks for the memories, LT. That's a thanks that a lot of us can give. I think in all the years that we've watched Lawrence Taylor, and
he redefined,
dominating,
redescribed, whatever, a new way to play outside linebacker.
And he's also redefined the way you play offense. That's, you know, that 2 tight end,
yeah,
1 back offense. Joe Gibbs put that in to block Lawrence Taylor.
We had to always figure out where he was. Waters dragged down from behind by Hamilton with a flag on the play.
And Ricky Waters is starting to get a little tired. I mean, he's used up all his energy. He was out here, like we talked about, with the fans, the pregame, the whole doggone thing. He's going for that 6th touchdown now.
Face mask violation against the Giants.
He just slowed down a little too much there, and you see
Personal foul.
Keith Hamilton
Number
got it from
75
behind.
on the defense, grabbing and pulling the face mask. Half the distance, first down.
First down, 49ers just outside the 10.
I wonder if the 49ers will keep feeding Ricky Waters the ball. You see Rice and Taylor just coming off now. You wonder how much longer they're going to keep running Ricky Waters.
They give the ball to Logan, and Logan is tripped up just inside the 5. Myron Guyton. Waters on the sideline.
I guess that's the answer. I guess they're not going to let him go for that record or that 6th touchdown, and I think that's smart. I mean, they have this game won. They're going to have a championship game next week, and they ran with the water today, and I think they want to save that water and have some for next week's game.
They may run him forever, but they're never going to run him out of enthusiasm. He's still going to have that.
He was something to watch today.
Logan to the 2. Stopped by a group of Giant defenders. A lot of whistles.
Yeah, the Giant defense played so well all year. Mike Nolan, their defensive coordinator, and Earl Leggett, the defensive line coach, and that whole group. And the players have really been outstanding, but today they just got whipped.
Well, they've been on the field so long. They've been able to dominate the time of possession so that they didn't have to play that much.
Today was a combination of Steve Young's perfect passing, Ricky Waters' running, and an offensive line that has played excellent.
Amp, Lee, and Logan. Logan's touchdown this time. Mark Logan gets the touchdown. Ricky Waters has 5. Gopher will try to add the extra point to make it 44-3.
That's all the running backs. You see, they got together, got in that little circle, and just gave a little chant for each other.
Bono is holding. I'd expect we'd see him at quarterback. The 49ers get the ball back. 44-3.
With the result decided, the rest of the 4th quarter was a matter of going through the motions. Dave Brown came in for Phil Simms and promptly threw an interception. And the 49ers put on their backups too. Amp Lee substituted for Ricky Waters, and he fumbled the ball away for them. As we rejoin the game, the 49ers have a 3rd and long, and it's 2 minutes and counting on Lawrence Taylor's great career.
Lawrence Taylor.
You know, the end is so tough because you've been playing so long. You know, you think 13 years of pro football.
Yeah.
4 years of college, 4 years of high school. And then the end.
You can
it's
enjoy.
easy to say you'll play golf or something.
Yeah, how long can you enjoy golf after you've been the kind of football player he is?
The greatest. And you know that the next stop after the Giants stop is in Canton in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
I mean, he'll be an automatic.
They wouldn't even have to vote. Wouldn't even have to nominate.
They could just ship him right from here to there.
Bono to Amp Lee. And Lee gets to about the 41-yard line. And the 49ers will punt again. Phil Simms, on the other hand, wants to play more. He's been most emphatic about that. When we talk to him, he wants to play again.
Well, you know, he and Lawrence Taylor over the years have been so close that a lot of people, you know, combine them and say LT and Phil, they're still here. LT, the defensive guy, Phil Simms, the offense. And then when there was talk about retirement, they started talking about both of them retiring. And Phil Simms said, hey, wait a minute, not me. I'm not going to retire. I'm going to be here next year.
Wilmsmeyer back to punt. Hagan says get away from it. Like everything else today, it takes a 49er roll. Down to the 5-yard line. It started off like a poor punt. Wound up being a 55-yarder down to the 5.
I'll tell you, whoever wins that game tomorrow, they better get ready for a shootout, because the 49ers are a team that's ready to go. And I think that they came out of this game and they got confidence back. But the other big thing is no one got hurt. So they're going to come out of this game today with a lot of confidence, with a lot of momentum, and healthy.
As you say, whoever wins tomorrow, they might as well just leave the tape on. Just tighten it. The handoff is to Jared Bunch. Less than a minute. 44-3. San Francisco over the Giants.
Yeah, what we see in the Giants sideline, Pat, is again, and I've been there, not in Lawrence Taylor's, where you're retiring and thinking this is your last game, but just the last game of the season. I mean, the frustration of the finality of it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not like during the season you can say, well, we'll get them next week. Next week doesn't come until August.
And if you're retiring, it never comes.
And there's nothing as high as winning a playoff game or as low as losing one.
It is final. As you said before, what a heck of a job Dan Reeves did. What an outstanding job Steve Young did today. Just emerged a little bit more out of the shadow of Joe Montana.
Lawrence Taylor maybe walking off the field for his last time.
Well, we've had some epic battles on the road to the Super Bowl so far, and that wasn't one of them. But, Bob, a majestic performance from the 49ers, and anybody looking at that offense, anyone who's left in the competition, would have to be terrified.
It was an incredible performance. And, and the things that you think about right away when you think about the 49ers is their passing game. Steve Young to Jerry Rice or John Taylor. That wasn't even something we looked at today. We saw We saw Ricky Watters running all day. We saw Ricky Watters catching passes all day. We saw Rice and Taylor being involved. We saw a very balanced, very explosive 49er offense that I don't see even a full-strength Dallas Cowboy team having an easy time with. I mean, it's going to be, right now, looking at the people that I've seen so far, this has got to be the team to beat.
The defense made a strong statement as well, but looking on the other side of the ball, not the way LT would have wanted to go out.
Now, I'll tell you what, there were some shots of him on the sidelines. You could see the tears in his eyes. And, for somebody who's given so much to the game, of himself, of his personality, of his knowledge, and the way he loved the game, he loved playing. He really committed himself, his body and his soul to this game. When you know it's time to go and you know you have to leave, emotionally, it's horrible. It tears you apart. I went through it last year, and it was one of the roughest times of my life. And also, on top of leaving the game that he loves, leaving it in this situation, 44-3, just not a way he wants to do it.
We'll remember him in his prime, though.
Sure will.
All right, we've said all we can about this game, I think. Let's hear from the locker room.
I mean, if you're going to script a playoff game, this was the one. I mean, no turnovers and throwing and passing and running the ball that way. And the defense giving us the ball back, it was, I don't know how to explain it. It just started off well and just kept rolling.
We got on the goal line. We knew that they were going to be coming. We knew that they were tough. But we just played a very physical game. And like I said, any other given day, you never know what could have happened. We could have been on the downside of this, of the victory and whatnot. So I'm just glad that we came out the way we did. And hopefully, this is just one step, though. That's the thing. Everybody got to keep it in perspective. This is just one step. We got 2 more to go, hopefully. We can get past the next one and get to that show.
They did a great job, and they took advantage of us in every situation, in every down just about. So today they were just way too good for us.
A subdued Phil Simms and an even more subdued Lawrence Taylor in the Giants locker room, confirming what everyone had been speculating about all day, that this had been his last game for the Giants.
I've played a lot of years, and I'm very appreciative of what I've got out of this game. The Giant family has been instrumental in my life, and and the players and my teammates, and I've enjoyed every moment of it. I've joined the fans, and I've had a lot of trials and tribulations, but it's all been a growing process, and I've really enjoyed the ride, and it's just time for me to go.
And we've enjoyed watching LT. I think everybody seconds that emotion.
So we know the 49ers are through to the last four. Who's going to be there with them? Green Bay or Dallas, Kansas City or Houston, or the winners of the LA Raiders-Buffalo game? And Buffalo is where we start the playoff weekend roundup this week.
Like it or not, and no one outside upstate New York does, getting to the big one from the AFC means going through Buffalo. And at this time of the year, road to the Super Bowl conditions can be treacherous, especially for a team used to West Coast weather. Steve Tasker's been in Buffalo most of his career, though. He had no trouble with the weather, taking this kickoff back 67 yards in the second quarter. That set up Kenneth Davis's one-yard dive, and after a missed extra point, it was 6-3 Buffalo. But Art Shell's team adapted much better to the cold than they did in Green Bay a couple of weeks ago. And Napoleon McCallum had a big first half, catching a 14-yard pass here, and finishing off the drive with a good second effort on a one-yard run. Still second quarter, Pete Metzla's fumbled on this catch over the middle. The Raiders recovered and made the Bills pay. Napoleon McCallum going for the touchdown on fourth down and getting it. Just before halftime, a questionable pass interference call put the Bills inside the Raider 10. Thurman Thomas took it the rest of the way. Put Buffalo back within 4, 17-13 at halftime. Third quarter, though, Jim Kelly went to work, hitting Andre Reed for 20 yards, then Billy Brooks for 25, and the touchdown. Steve Christie missed his second extra point of the game. I believe he looked like he was missing his gloves, and after a field goal made it 22-17 Buffalo, Mark Kelso missed Tim Brown.
Tim Brown in the open field, one man back. He beats Kelso, and he's in for the touchdown.
After Jeff Jager chipped in with another missed extra point, it was 23-22 Raiders, but in the fourth quarter, Jim Kelly delivered the decisive pass to Billy Brooks again. The Bills are just one game away now from their fourth consecutive Super Bowl appearance. Playing for the right to face the 49ers in the NFC Championship game were the Packers and the Cowboys. The defending Super Bowl champs had dome field advantage. They also had Emmitt Smith in the lineup, wearing special pads to protect his separated shoulder. Emmitt looked healthy enough early on, picking up 15 yards on the ground here, before Troy Aikman went up top, the 6'3" Alvin Harper. And Harper came down with the ball and the 6 points. After an exchange of field goals, it was 10-3, and it looked like that would be the halftime score. With less than a minute left in the second quarter, Corey Harris fumbled the kickoff return, and while he fought over the loose ball with his own man, the Cowboys stepped in and recovered. Mike Holmgren knows you can't give Troy Aikman a chance like that, and Aikman proved him right, striking again, this time to Jay Novacek for a 17-3 lead in the dying seconds. That just about broke the back of the pack, and in the third quarter, Dallas extended their lead.
They're wanting to go to Irvin. They've got him. Touchdown, Dallas.
Green Bay staged a late rally with touchdown passes to Sterling Sharp and Robert Brooks, but any real chance Brett Favre had of bringing them back disappeared in the fourth quarter when he was intercepted by Darren Woodson. So the Cowboys win, and they host the Niners in the NFC Championship game next week. I don't know about Moon over Montana. It looked more like being Joe versus the Volcano as the legend went into the Astrodome to face Buddy Ryan's fearsome defense. And defense dominated the early going. Montana got picked up on the Chiefs' opening drive by Steve Jackson. That led to an Oilers field goal. Then KC set about proving Houston have no monopoly on nastiness, sacking Warren Moon 5 times in the first half. The Oilers also have a running game these days in the shape of Gary Brown, and he put them 10-0 up in the first quarter on this 3-yard run. In the second quarter, Montana went up top to a wide-open Willie Davis, but he let the certain touchdown slip through his hands. No points for the Chiefs in the first half, but Davis redeemed himself in the second, taking this pass from Montana and turning it into a 37-yard gain. Then, from the Oilers' 11-yard line, Joe ran the play fake to Marcus Allen, hit Keith Cash on the rollout. Keith Cash went in for the touchdown and showed what he thinks of Buddy Ryan. That made it 10-7 Houston. At the end of the third quarter, Warren Moon tried the bomb to Ernest Gibbons, but only found the Chiefs' Charles Mincy. At the start of the fourth, though, Montana got picked off himself by Terry Hogue, and again the Oilers turned that into a field goal to go up by 6. On the next drive, though, a huge pass interference call on Chris Dishman gave the Chiefs the ball at the 11. Joe capitalised, hitting Willie Burden. The Chiefs were ahead by a point, 14-13. Then came the defensive play of the game. Derek Thomas nailed Warren Moon, knocking the ball loose. Dan Saliamua recovered at the Houston 12. 3 plays later, Montana to Davis. The Chiefs were up by 8, and even the legend was excited. Houston struck back immediately, though. Moon to Givens made it a 1-point game with 4 minutes left. But the Chiefs' other star veteran put the game beyond them. Marcus Allen breaking a 21-yard run inside the final 2 minutes. And after a heart-stopper in Houston, the Chiefs' antique roadshow goes to Buffalo.
So now it's down to 4 teams and 2 games. We'll have the AFC and NFC championship games for you, one of them live next Sunday starting at 8 o'clock. And that'll be the final road to the Super Bowl show, because after that, it's only the Super Bowl itself left. From Candlestick Park in San Francisco,